Oh, and I'm live, or at least I think I am. Let me check. I always love listening to the volume. Is it going to work? I'm just double checking. I don't hear any volume. Well, let's see. Oh, lovely! And I've got some company. Yay! Why can't I hear anything on my phone? You know, it's been a while since I've been live. There we go. Since I've been live. Yes, it's been a while since I've been live here in the Janome Continental Club. And I am so excited to be back with you all. This is streaming to the Janome Sewing Machines Facebook page and the Janome Continental Club. And I see that I am not alone. Yay! Thank you everyone so much for joining me. This is so fabulous. Again, I haven't been in this group for quite a while, so it's great to connect with you all again. So, let me flip around. Hello! Yes, hello everyone. It is again fabulous to see you all. Oh, yes, wonderful. Oh, Dot Case is watching. I love it. And Kay and Patricia, lovely. Thank you. Thank you everyone so much for joining me today. You know, as usual, it's always a scramble getting ready for these lives, but they're so fun. And again, I'm so happy to connect with you all. Again, it's been quite a while, so lovely. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining me. I love to pop on a little bit early so then again everybody can get situated. You know, especially Friday, we're all scrambling to get ready for the weekend. So I thought I'll go on live a little bit early so then everybody can get that notification. Oh wait, I got to watch that live. Now, not to worry if you join the live a little late or you end up missing it. You know, things happen. You can always go back, check the videos tab, the media tab, and you can scroll back and see whatever presentation you would like later. You know, our fabulous Celine that does the Tuesday lives on the Janome Sewing Machines Facebook page here. You can always go to the videos tab, media tab, and type in the search box Celine Ross, and all of her presentations will come up that way. So it's easy to find us that way. You can scroll through the feed, but it's a little faster if you use that. Again, video tab, media tab, and type in the subject you're looking for or the educator specifically. Oh my gosh, hello, Matthew and Monica. I love it. Oh, it's great. Thank you, everyone. Oh, Carissa, lovely. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. It is so fun to see you all. I'll check the time on my fabulous CM17. It's already past 3 o'clock. So let's get started because, of course, I've got a ton of information to share, and I'll try not to keep you all too long. So thank you everyone for joining me today. It is so fabulous to see you all. My name is Michael Smith, the National Education Manager of Janome Canada. So yes, I am thrilled to be here live in the Janome Continental Club and the Janome Sewing Machines Facebook page to share with you more of the Janome love, specifically about the Continental M17. Today I'm going to show you the machine setup of free motion quilting, ruler quilting. There's so many, you know, quick, easy things that our machines, you know, they do a lot of thinking for us. So it is really great that they do a lot of the heavy lifting, but there's a couple of, again, little tips and tricks and products that I'm going to share with you so you get the optimum results. Free motion quilting, ruler quilting. So let's spin around. Ooh, here we go in my fabulous CM17 here. So yes, when we're going to be doing some free motion quilting or ruler quilting, you know, which we can pretty much do on any Janome machine, sewing machine. But here in their CM17 specifically, oh yes, you see I've got lots of goodies to share with you all. So again, if I end up talking too fast because I'm trying to get through as much information as possible, you can always go back to review this presentation later and get a little bit more information. But when we're going to set up our machine, let's start from the ground up. So in our machine, let's conveniently hit the lock button and let's open the fabulous needle plate here with that one touch on screen needle plate to get rid of that, because our regular bobbin holder One of the components, think of free motion quilting and ruler quilting like a recipe. So one of the components to our recipe for success, we're going to replace the regular 10 grams, and it says now, Janome's getting so smart, even smarter. They're putting the gram, if you can see, 10 gram bobbin holder. In this case, on the CM17 and CM7, it's got that little kind of yellowy, orangey little triangle. But it says in the bobbin basket itself, 10 grams. We're going to remove the regular bobbin holder that comes in the machine, and we are going to replace, instead of this 10 gram bobbin holder, we're going to use another one. Now, in your CM17 also comes this white dot bobbin holder that you'll see in there says 20 grams. This is a higher tension bobbin holder that we would typically use for embroidery to pull those needle threads to the bottom, to the bobbin side. High tension. Instead of regular 10, it's set at 20. Well, we don't want to use this high tension bobbin holder that comes included with our machine because we don't want to see those needle threads on the back side of our quilting. When we're talking free motion quilting and ruler quilting, we're going to be quilting through all layers. So we're going to see the back side, wherein traditional embroidery, we don't see the back side. So it's fine if our needle threads get pulled to the back side. But when we're free motion quilting, ruler quilting, we don't want to see those needle threads. So instead, we want to use, it's an optional accessory. It does not come with your machine. The 8 gram, as it says inside that bobbin basket there, 8 gram bobbin holder, which has a little blue dot. So when you're looking in the Janome accessories guide, this is a low tension blue dot bobbin holder, as it's often referred to, and we need it specifically. There is a blue dot bobbin holder for almost every Janome sewing machine out there, but specifically we need one for the CM17 and the Continental M7 and the Continental M7 Quilters Special Edition, because you see there's this hole in the side of the bobbin basket. Now that is for the fabulous little laser light that reads our low bobbin indicator that's here in our needle plate area. Then again, we need our bobbin holders to have that hole to accommodate for that laser light that comes to read our bobbins for that low bobbin indicator. So therefore, when you're getting that 8 gram low tension blue dot bobbin holder, it needs to specifically says for Continental M7, which would also apply to the Quilters Collected Series machine and the CM17. They're for Continental machines. Again, the blue dot bobbin holder, low tension bobbin holder is available for other machines, but for the Continental M7, the Special Edition Quilters Collector M7 and the CM17, we need this Continental M7 Professional. And again, it's a blue dot bobbin holder with 8 grams of tension, so there's less tension in that bobbin holder. And as it says in the blister pack, it's for free quilting, free motion quilting, and hand look quilt stitch. There's a lot you can do with it. Again, more instruction on the back of the blister pack. And certainly for free motion quilting tips, ruler quilting, that hand look quilt stitch that it says here on the blister pack, if you check out our Janome Life blog, which is a very proud Canadian blog that I edit. But, Janome America educators also contribute to our Janome Canada blog. So Janome Life blog. And again, no matter where you are in the world, that you can access the Janome Life blog. And we have lots of tips about ruler quilting, free motion quilting, this hand look quilt stitch with the low tension blue dot bobbin holder. So it's really worth the investment. Again, it doesn't come with your machine, but it's really worth the investment to get that low tension blue dot bobbin holder. Certainly makes your free motion quilting, ruler quilting more successful. There is less tension in this bobbin holder. So as we're quilting all around, moving our fabric in all different directions, we're not getting, that fight from the tension of the bobbin holder. Because there's less tension, it allows our fabric to freely move more easily and not get hung up. So therefore, that's why it's recommended as part of your recipe. Cost, you would double check with your fabulous Janome dealers, because of course I'm here in Canada, so our prices are going to be different than in the States and then around the world. But the part number of the low tension blue dot bobbin holder, I'll even show you right here, for Continental M7 and CM17, 202-433-008. And then again, your dealer will be able to tell you cost. So while we have our bobbin holder removed, yes, exactly, it is 8 grams. Low tension bobbin holder. While we have that removed, good idea to get in there. Let's clean up with our little brush all around our bobbin area, in between the feed dogs. You can clean up your bobbin area, make it all beautiful. Then we drop in this bobbin holder. Now, of course, we need to make sure that it's in the proper position behind that little metal finger, but I also like rubbing my finger across it, that I know, yep, it's really laying down flat. Now, the next thing is we need a needle plate. So the traditional needle plate that is on our machine is that zigzag needle plate with that wide opening here. Big wide 9mm opening. But as part of your recipe for successful free motion quilting and ruler quilting, we suggest using this straight stitch needle plate with that center hole, with that one center hole there. Don't confuse it with your HP needle plate that says HP down here, high performance. You don't want that needle plate. You want the straight stitch needle plate with that center hole. And why that is preferred is, have you ever had where your needle is mashing your fabric down into that wide zigzag plate needle opening? Well, if you use your straight stitch needle plate, that will not happen. Now, if that is happening to you, your needle is mashing your fabric down into your needle plate, it's probably a good time to change your needle as well. So let me thread my bobbin in here as usual to get that going. So then the next part of our recipe, needle. Yes, the correct needle that Janome recommends for free motion quilting and ruler quilting is that fabulous purple tip needle. To me, you can never have enough of these in your sewing room. This purple tip needle is specifically designed to eliminate skipped stitches and eliminate the eyelashing that can often happen at the back of your quilt when you're free motion quilting, particularly if you're a little too fast, by having that flared cobra head. It literally, from the tip of the needle, it flares out like a big cobra head. And what that does is it separates the fibers of the fabric so that needle thread can come down and intersect more readily with the bobbin thread. If you think of thread as a tug of war, your thread should interlock right in the middle of your quilt sandwich. In this case, since we're talking about quilting, we don't want to use that, high tension bobbin holder, because that's going to pull the needle threads too much to the back side. By having that low tension blue dot bobbin holder, again, the threads intersect more readily in the center of the fabric. There's less tension on the bobbin, so it's not pulling that needle thread. They can play a little better. And then again, with that flared cobra head of the size 14 purple tip needle, again, the fibers of the fabric spread open a little more readily so that needle thread and bobbin thread can intersect, again, avoiding the skipped stitches, avoiding that eyelashing. So your purple tip needle, size 14, have a larger eye, a larger shaft, so you can use through thicker layers to accommodate, quilting, as we're doing maybe multiple layers of batting, thick batting, and 2 layers of fabric. So we can accommodate that thicker threads as well, because it's size 14 with that larger eye. Now, the other most common needles are red tip, size 14. Oh, I use these for regular sewing 99% of the time, so always good to have these on hand. And then our size 11 blue tip needle. Again, we typically use these for embroidery, or if you're going to be sewing with thinner threads, these are great. They've got a slight ballpoint, the blue tip needle, a slight ballpoint, so it's great for cotton knits, for example. So these are the 3 needles that with the colored tips that Janome recommends for most general sewing. And again, your purple tip needles are what's recommended for free motion quilting and ruler quilting. So that definitely, those 3 components alone, your bobbin holder, your needle plate, and your needle, will definitely add up to great success for your free motion quilting and ruler quilting. So then, yes, now let's get into feet. Oh, there's so many feet that Janome are known for, so many feet of their machines. So for a lot of machines, including the CM17 here, we have like the fabulous darning foot. This is the PDH. This is a closed toe darning foot. As you'll see, it's got a little bar across there. But then this is the open toe darning foot with no bar across. Now, the great thing about these darning feet, PDH darning feet, they replace the foot holder. So you would remove the foot holder from your machine, and then you screw this on. There we go. So we've removed the regular foot holder, and you'll see the foot holder here as it attaches to the presser foot bar. The foot holder is integrated with the foot. Now you must have this bar over the needle clamp screw here, or else it will not hop. This foot is also called a hopping foot because again, it literally hops. But again, that needle clamp screw, it has to be under that bar, or else the foot will not work. Now, you may prefer, if you're just getting started in free motion quilting, you may prefer to use one of these feet, the closed toe PDH darning foot or the open toe PDH darning foot. And the reason for that is they literally hop up and down. So although we can still move our fabric in any direction, the foot literally hops and rests on your fabric ever so slightly for just like a split second, but it rests on your fabric and then jumps up. So as you're moving your fabric, you have a little bit more control of the fabric because, again, there is contact. The foot actually makes contact with the fabric as it hops up and down. So you may find you have a little more control as you're getting used to your free motion movements. So again, if you're brand new to it, you may prefer those PDH darning foot, either the closed toe or the open toe. Make sure you use your screwdriver very tightly to secure that foot because you're going to be moving in multiple directions. Now, you know, just as a little aside, the little screwdriver here comes with like pretty much every Janome machine, but you can also get these larger screwdrivers in a blister pack from your Janome dealer, and they really help you give like a little more torque. Especially with a machine like the CM17 that ultimately sews up to 1,300 stitches per minute. That's really fast. So it's good to secure that screw very tightly. Again, maybe a larger screwdriver will help you, especially if you've got any dexterity issues or, you know, carpal tunnel, anything like that. You may find it easier to grip this larger screwdriver. So those are the PDH darning feet. Now then we get into our more traditional free motion feet, especially for your computerized machines, your more, I won't say basic, but your non-computerized machines, they will have the convertible free motion foot set. Whereas our computerized, more advanced machines, we have the snap-on. There's a closed toe, an open toe, and this is the big clear view foot. I sometimes call it the dinner plate. So here, this cute little QC foot, again, closed toe. Now, these are snap-on feet, but the important thing to remember when you're about to snap these on, most of our snap-on feet, they just have that one bar in the middle, but on these feet they have 2, so we can't just snap it on like that. We first have to click it into the back of the foot and then snap it into place. So again, that it clips in the back of the foot and then rocks up into place, and you hear that little snap. So that is the closed toe. Again, there is an open toe, so it allows you a little bit more visibility of the needle there. Maybe you'd like to use this foot specifically. Oh, if you're going to be doing some free motion quilting around an applique, for example, then you see more, you see exactly where your needle is because there is no bar in place. So maybe you prefer this is the QO foot, the open toe foot. Now, speaking of applique, and if you're stitching up next to some applique or some really fine detailed quilting, just as a little aside as well, maybe, this is the perfect time to use your optic magnifiers. Now, this again comes with your CM17 for Continental M7 and the Quilter's Special Edition. They come separately in a blister pack, but these optic magnifiers, when you're going to be doing some quilting, again, very fine, delicate work, maybe up against applique, maybe you want to get out your optic magnifiers so you can really see that needle. And again, we've got 20, 40, and 60 magnification there. And then the cool thing is when you don't want them, they just pivot out of the way. You don't even have to remove them. So that definitely helps improve visibility as well, in addition to the open toe foot here. And then again, the clear view foot, it has some registration marks on it as well that are from center needle position. It's a 1/4 of an inch out here. It's about, a generous 1/8 of an inch to the outside. And again, 1/4 of an inch from the needle this way. Again, about a generous 1/8 from the outside there. So these clear view foot could help you, let's say if you wanted to do free motion quilting, echo quilting, where you want to follow radiating lines. Picture when you drop a pebble in water and you see that ripple effect. Well, this foot would be great to use for that echo quilting because you could run your previous line up, stitching up against one of these guide markings that are already on the foot, so you'd be a little more accurate. So again, lots of options to do with free motion quilting. Now, included in your CM17, and this was included in, like the version 3 Quiltmaker 15,000, the QZ, this is a variable zigzag foot, and I'm going to talk about, I'll be back live next month, actually, May 26th, in the Continental Club, talking about variable zigzag, and I'm going to talk about this foot in more detail then, but again, you can check out our Janome Life blog for more about this variable zigzag foot. But this foot you could also use for free motion quilting if you would like. You'll see it's got a very low profile. There's not a lot of, toes of that feet to get in the way. So you've got great improved visibility of your needle. So you could use this QZ or QZ foot if you would like for free motion quilting as well. Specifically, it's a variable zigzag foot. So again, I'm going to talk about more about this in another presentation at the end of May. So I'll just put that aside for now, because these three are our typical free motion quilting feet, again, for our more advanced computerized machines. But then, Janome had to do more. So yes, the fabulous CM17, the first Janome machine with this beautiful A.S.R. Accurate Stitch Regulator. So again, you'll recognize those feet. Closed toe, open toe, clear view. I was told this looks like the Starship Enterprise. Don't you agree? Yes. And the cool thing is, with our fabulous A.S.R, now again, we recommend that you leave one of these feet on the A.S.R, so then again, it protects. There's the stitch regulator itself, basically reading your fabric. You want to leave a foot on, so it's protecting that window. I say it's a window to your soul. And again, we can easily remove these feet with the little black button on the back and snap these into place. Now, for more on the A.S.R, I did a whole big, it was a 50-minute presentation. I went way over my time, several months ago. I think it was last year, when I did the A.S.R Accurate Stitch Regulator whole Facebook Live presentation. So there's more about the Accurate Stitch Regulator specifically to find out more information about that. Then when we talk about, so that's for free motion quilting. When we talk about ruler quilting, well, of course, we have our QR ruler foot with the little divot in the front. So we could do regular ruler quilting this way. But then, of course, with the CM17, we can do ruler quilting with the industry first QR. This is the A.S.R. QR foot for ruler quilting on our fabulous Accurate Stitch Regulator here. And again, if we get very simply to go over, click, done. Beautiful. So many options. Again, feet, 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 and more feet. It's depending on whatever you want to do. So, of course, I'm going to use the fabulous A.S.R. Accurate Stitch Regulator. And then we need to get our machine itself set up. So I'll clear my deck here because, as usual, there is so much in the way. So the 9450 does not have the A.S.R, correct? Yes. Oh, that's fabulous, Jerry. Thank you. Oh, yay. Yes, thank you for answering questions because, of course, I'm flying a mile a minute trying to get through all this information. I will be answering questions, afterward, but thank you so much, Jerry, for being here. One of our fabulous Janome America educators. As I say, she's my American cousin. So yes, when we're getting into our machine setup, well, you'll notice since I have the straight stitch needle plate on, that's already grayed out a lot of my zigzag stitches, decorative stitches. I can't use those because they're not compatible with the needle plate. Again, isn't it wonderful to get a machine to do some thinking for you? So when we want to do our free motion quilting and ruler quilting, again, don't you love a machine that does some thinking for you? We go into our little home button here and into our sewing applications mode. Oh, and you see me in the screen. Hello. So sewing applications mode, again, it's the machine asking us, what do you want to do? I want to do free motion quilting. I want to do ruler quilting. Well, great. We can go in sewing applications. So if we're doing any kind of garment sewing, we've got our regular sewing applications. Then this little icon here with the little feather and the curly cues there, the heart, that is our quilting category. So we're getting closer. Now this patchwork piecing, do we want to do that? Again, we can use our straight stitch needle plate to piece a quilt. But no, I don't want to do that. I want to free motion quilt. Boom, we select it. Now the wonderful thing is, again, your feed dogs automatically, we can see by the icon on the screen here, have dropped. The machine has dropped them. We don't have to think about it. After the fact, the sewing applications I absolutely love. And again, why we spend a little more for our machines, it does that thinking for us. It does some of the heavy lifting for us. So there's less to remember. So I don't need to worry about, oh, where are my feed dogs? How do I drop my feed dogs? Do I need to go into my settings? Do I have to push a button? I don't need to think about it. I just hit sewing applications, free motion, and boom, my feed dogs have dropped. Now, if we were going to use our machine, when you're wondering, which foot should I use? Well, your machine will really tell you. It'll ask you a lot of clues. What foot do you want to use? Again, if you're brand new to free motion quilting, I do actually recommend starting out with that PDH darning foot. It does give you a little bit more control of your fabric. So you could start out with this. M, by the way, stands for middle needle position. L stands for left needle position. Many times people ask what that's about. You'll see now, because I've got a straight stitch needle plate on, the zigzag options are grayed out. If I had the zigzag needle plate on, then we could use the clear view options, either the A.S.R or the regular clear view foot. But because we've got, again, that straight stitch needle plate on, that's already negated some of our selections. So we're getting closer to what we want to do. So now when I select straight stitch number 3, again, middle needle position, or there's an L for left needle position, you'll see those QC and QO feet, those regular free motion feet. But then you say, oh no, I want to use that A.S.R. Well, maybe you can see on my screen here, it's kind of grayed out a little bit. But when we attach, there is a little port at the back of the machine. So when I plug in this A.S.R, and it can only go in one way, And then again, we attach it to our post where the presser foot, attaches, and we tighten that little screw. And then again, we need our big screwdriver. Let me drop the foot and tighten that up really good and tight. So now that I have attached my A.S.R, oh, look on my screen. Now the A.S.R is active. So if you're trying to do free motion quilting or ruler quilting with the A.S.R, you must select, it'll be straight stitch number 3, straight stitch number 4 in the free motion quilting category. And so you've got to select the correct stitch. And your stitch regulator must be plugged into the back of the machine. And again, for more about the stitch regulator, the A.S.R, you can scroll back through the A.S.R presentation. Oh, I hope you all have your Continental Academy videos. Then again, that whole presentation is in the Continental Academy. So you can go back and watch those videos as well about that whole A.S.R presentation that I did on how to access it and how to tweak the settings, so you can get it just right for you. So then we hit A.S.R, and then boom, now the icons change on the machine to the A.S.R QC and A.S.R QO, the closed toe and open toe version of those free motion feet. So now we can select either of those stitches. Now we can select our stitch length because we are in, again, stitch regulated mode for free motion quilting. Now I will caution you, if you are doing a lot of really tight curls, lots of pebbling, you don't want to make your stitch length too long. You definitely want to keep it a little on the tighter side, because as you're going around in your circle, again, you want your stitches more consistent. So if you're, again, a normal circle like this, it's about a 2-inch circle, that's okay. That stitch length could be, again, the default is 2.4. It could be a little longer, but, you know, you don't want to go too long. And if it's all, again, that background stippling, then you definitely wanted to go maybe a 2.0. So it's a little tighter. You'll be able to do those circles a little more easily, and the regulator won't be fighting you. If you're just going to be quilting straight lines, oh, I like quilting actually up to a 3.0. It's a longer stitch because the thicker your layers, the longer your stitch actually should be if you're just straight lines. Again, if you're tight circles, you'll want a smaller stitch. But if you're just straight line quilting, maybe a 3.0. If you've got a really lofty batting, maybe 2 layers of batting, or some big fluffy wool batting or big polyester batting, you might even want to go, oh, maybe 3.3, 3.4, 3.5. And that may sound like, wow, that's a long stitch. But again, the thicker your layers, the denser your layers, the longer your stitch should be to go up and down through all those layers. So the main thing, do your experimenting. You make yourself all these little quilt sandwiches. And then when you do these little quilt sandwiches to test, make sure you do your backing fabric and your batting larger than your quilt top. And especially if you're going to be doing with the A.S.R, you're going to be using the A.S.R, because we need a good 3/4 of an inch of fabric beyond the edge of the fabric here, because there always has to be fabric under the stitch regulator. As we're getting to the edge of our quilt here, the black, I no longer have any of my quilt top under the stitch regulator, but I still have my quilt backing under the regulator. So I can get regulated stitches, free motion quilting or ruler quilting, all the way out to the edge of my quilt, because there's fabric, the backing fabric is bigger and it's under my stitch regulator. So always make sure to tier your quilt sandwiches like this, and that way you always will have better success with that stitch regulator. So if we're then, that's in, again, a big whirlwind of free motion quilting. Oh, we've got the 1 stitch stop, for example. That means you'll take a stitch and then the machine will stop to allow you to pull up your bobbin thread. that you can hold on to and get quilting. Then you can trim it away. That way the back of your quilt stays nice and tidy. You don't have to go back in and trim it later. So you may want to keep that one stitch stop. If you don't like to use it, oh great, you can just turn it off. And then you can select, do you want the needle to stay in your fabric when you stop sewing, or do you want it to, that would be there, to stop above your fabric, or you can select, do you want it to stop in your fabric. So again, you've got lots of controls right here on the main screen of your machine to set it up exactly how you wish. Now, ruler quilting, again, the great thing is we can just go into switch so easily from free motion quilting and ruler quilting. So I can switch ruler quilting. Do we have medium or light layers? Again, our batting, if it's regular, like 80-20 batting, medium is fine. If I'm doing 100% cotton batting or maybe some flannel, maybe we'll do lighter. So instead of the 2.5 height, maybe we go to light to 1.5, so the top of that foot is a little closer to the quilt sandwich. We could even refine it a little more and drop that foot a little closer to the quilt sandwich. Now, the same is true for free motion quilting, and again, when we're doing ruler quilting, we don't want that foot too close to the fabric. We don't want it on the fabric, because then we're going to be dragging our fabric. So then you need to move that foot up a little higher. If consequently it's up too high, as you're quilting along, your needle will probably pull up your layers like this. And you think, oh no, my foot is up too high, I have to bring it down. You want it to basically just hover over your fabric, and your fabric should move very freely. If you find your thread is shredding, you either need to go up a needle size, or again, maybe your foot is too low or too high from your fabric. So it really is a lot of experimenting to find what works best for you with your thread and your fabric. But again, those recipes of success of your low tension blue dot bobbin holder, straight stitch needle plate, purple tip needle, again, especially for our A.S.R, we want more fabric under the stitch regulator at all times. And then we've got things like, oh yes, there are some, Janome's all about more. So in Janome Canada, at least, and I'm sure Janome America has similar products, we have this fabulous free motion glider. It's by So Steady. So again, check with your Janome dealer. They likely have something like this free motion glider. And what this is, and again, there's many similar products out there, so just double check with your Janome dealer. But what this is actually a sheet of Teflon, and you'll see there's a circular hole here. That is for the hole in your needle plate. And so again, the needle is going to go through that hole. Don't you love this thumb wheel on your CM17? I am using that thumb wheel more than I ever realized I would. I love it. So this sheet of Teflon just clings to the bed of your machine. So it is Teflon. It's nice and slippery. So again, that helps you move your fabric a little easier. So again, double check with your Janome dealer if they have a similar mat. Again, it's called the Free Motion Glider by So Steady. And then again, when we're talking about moving our fabric, I love these. These are Machinger gloves. There are several gloves like this that have this kind of grippy, rubbery surface. So this way, it will help grip your fabric a little better, and then you don't have to worry about your manicure. And then again, this will help you move your layers more easily because you've got a little more grip to the fabric. Speaking of grip, I absolutely love these. These are these Janome palm paddles. Now, it's from the So Comfortable line, and this is the same rubbery grip that it works so well. The same rubbery grip that is the So Comfortable, ooh, it's so big. This is the So Comfortable non-slip foot pedal pad. Say that 10 times fast. So this non-slip foot pedal pad. Fits any foot pedal, even the large white foot pedal, even with our CM17 with the remote thread cutter, it will fit. The whole big foot pedal and the remote thread cutter will fit on this non-slip foot pedal pad. It's 10 by 14. So any foot pedal will fit on this. Doesn't matter what flooring you have, your foot pedal is not moving on this. It's, again, this grippy, rubbery surface. And these fabulous Janome palm paddles have that same grippy surface on the back side. So it's really wonderful to, again, be able to move, and they fit quite comfortably in your hand. And again, that you can move your fabric. So for free motion quilting, you would use these. Ruler quilting, you would not, because then you're using, you know, your ruler, as I have a ruler here. This is where the gloves help when you're ruler quilting, because you're moving your ruler and your fabric all at the same time. So the gloves will help for moving your ruler, but when you're doing free motion quilting, things like the, again, little palm paddle set from So Comfortable, or then Janome even has these, when you get into your larger quilts, so you've already done your experimenting, then you're going to get into your larger quilts. These larger palm paddles, again, for bigger, heavier quilts, especially, they've got little knobs to help you grip and move your fabric through. So this is the quilting paddle set, for example, from So Comfortable. So double check with your Janome dealer and see what they have available, because, oh yes, we have even more. These beautiful Janome, to me, they look like steering wheels. There is an 8-inch hoop and there's an 11-inch hoop, and they come together as a set. And the cool thing is, again, that they allow you to hold on to these knobs, and it allows you to twist and turn your fabric, again, for free motion quilting. And then you can easily move and reposition the hoop, but it gives you a little more control, again, for your free motion quilting. So there is a 8-inch hoop, and then there is, ooh, crash, an 11-inch hoop. And it comes together, 8 and 11-inch hoop for free motion quilting. It's part of the So Comfortable line. And then lastly, because of course my time is racing by, you know that when we are doing our free motion quilting, ruler quilting, and we have the fabulous embroidery carriage attached to the machine here, I leave my carriage on all the time. My machine sits on top of my table. I leave my carriage on the time, and I love using the big extender, table extensions, I call them wings, the big table extensions that normally when I'm embroidering, you know, these are for the supporting the RE46D hoop, the big hoop. So I've got the big extension table out front and the big extension table out back. And it really does act as a very nice big extension table to support my quilt projects. But if you find sometimes, oh, there's the coupling here for our embroidery hoops, do remember that we can move that. If you find sometimes it's getting in the way of your fabric, we can go into our functions menu here and we can move there. So keep clear, carriage is moving, yes. So we can move that little cup link then from the home position here. We can move it up kind of more out of the way. So that way, if we're quilting along and, you know, if we don't want that there. If we're quilting along, you know, in our big quilt, and maybe if the coupling, you know, is here, I've had it sometimes where, oh, my fabric just goes right in there. So if it's easier, you know, just move it up out of the way. And then when you're quilting along, it's fine if the fabric, you know, that's totally fine. You're not hurting anything. If you're worried about, oh, the fabric's going to get caught in there or something, of course, you could always roll it up, secure it with a little clamp, and do your quilting, you know, that way. So it's really not an issue. But if you were at all concerned as well, you know, there's the optional extension table that came with the Continental M7, it is now an optional accessory for the CM17. So you could remove your embroidery carriage altogether and get that Continental M7 extension table. Then that would be wonderful. You wouldn't need to worry about that embroidery carriage at all. If that was a concern. But again, for me, I've always had my machine set up this way. Can you believe it's been a year already since the CM17 debuted? And I've left my machine set up this way the whole time, and I've free motion quilted and bound. I don't even remember how many quilts at this point, so it's been totally fine. So there, in a big whirlwind, is to help you get set up for your machine free motion quilting and your ruler quilting using either the traditional free motion feet or the fabulous A.S.R. feet, free motion foot, ruler quilting. There we go. And then, of course, for more information, again, you can scroll back to the various presentations that were done previously on the A.S.R. and more presentations. There's been so many. You know, I know Kate Quinn did a wonderful ruler quilting demo not too long ago. So again, you can always go back and scroll more through the videos and find out more of free motion quilting, more of ruler quilting. You know, there's always more. And more is being loaded to the Continental Academy as well. You know, with those educators, you know, we filmed so much last year, so many videos, so more are being uploaded. And I was so thrilled that they've included all of these lives into the respective categories of the Continental Academy. So then it'll be easier for you all to find all this information in their respective categories. So again, Janome is really trying to get all the information out there for you, so you can fall in love with your machine more and more and more. Again, can you believe that it's already been a year? It seems like yesterday to me. But again, I'm still loving my machine and finding more and more we can do about it. So that's all why we're here, to share more of the Janome love. So thank you everyone so much for watching. Thank you, Jerry, for answering some questions. And I will certainly answer more questions after this broadcast is over. And again, more ways to share the Janome love. And I hope to see you all again very soon. Have a fabulous day. Bye.